everyone and welcome back. So Nigerians are still reacting concerning this Bible between Wike and Sowore. But before we go into that, there is this particular breaking and shocking news that really surprised Nigerians, and it says Tinubu ordered INEC Chairman Yakubu to take immediate leave over alleged Apc betrayal. Plans to appoint replacement. Betraying APC. Wow. Despite what he did in the favor of APC in 2023. Like, which kind of play these people are playing? Like, are they trying to play on our intelligence? I thought Yakubu's tenure will expire like very soon. So what is this news of telling him to go for leave because he betrayed APC? This one now use and dump. Anyway, let's see some of the reactions from Nigerians. And this person said, "What nonsense news is this? How can devil betray Ekwensu?" And another person said, "Let me tell you something. All these dying minute changes that Tinubu and APC are doing is what will bring him down, because those people have already know his tactics and the strategies. When the Lord turned the captivity of Zion, it will be like dream." And this person said, "Yakubu betrayed Nigerians, not APC. If the incoming election is tampered in any way, Nigerians should hold the INEC and the judiciary accountable. Nigerians want change and a better future in every aspect of society. Lest we forget to vote someone with integrity, decency, and has a policy to transform Nigeria." And another person said, "Please, how did he betray APC? Somebody that overturned the will of people for his selfish gain. If na play, make una stop am before Nigeria go enter." And another person said, "INEC should not even consign the president. They should be independent and have a maximum time of selecting their chairman." Honestly, I was asking someone this particular question, that where were Nigerians when this kind of law was made, that presidents have the power to appoint INEC chairman? Like how? Like, what were they even thinking until they amend this law to strip the president of the power to hire or fire INEC chairman? The INEC chairman should be an independent body. Like, now Tinubu is going to appoint his tribe man, right? In order to help me to rig the election, just as he did in 2023. Anyway, concerning Sowore and Wike matter, like Sowore is still bringing more evidence. Like, he keep exposing Wike every day by day. This matter is getting interesting. So today, Yoruba group blast pro-Tinubu group for attacking Sowore, saying that Yorubas faces hardship under this Omiloko. Like, most of Yorubas, they know the truth. It's only few that understand that Tinubu is just there for his own selfish reason, not for Yorubas. Because I have a lot of subscribers from Yoruba, right? They are saying it here, like they will do everything possible to make sure that Tinubu run out from that Asorokon 2027. It's not all the Yorubas are supporting Tinubu, honestly. Some are very, very angry about Tinubu because they are really, really suffering. Anyway, make allow you guys to take a listen and hear this insightful analysis concerning Sowore and the Wike's matter. Please do wait to subscribe for more updates. Like the video, share it, and also leave your thoughts in the comment section. Thank you so much for doing so.
Nigerian EFCC, you sure you will not carry this your EFCC eagle go for eye clinic for medical checkup? Maybe they give it medicated glasses, because it's like, they see corruption allegations of politicians and big men. Now only Yahoo boys na to na eagle they look. Make the cuckoo go check in eye, give them eye drop because oriburuku lenche. My country people, say there is level of corruption and crime, criminality will go happen for country, it go become normal. The citizens of that country will become used to it. That is, corruption don't master them. See, unfortunately, that is the Nigerian reality. For this country, they compare corruption with corruption. Some Nigerians go even tell you, we don't get so much used to corruption. Some people go tell you, when you reach there, when it be your turn, if you like, no use your head, no do your own, and now you be the first person where they there. If they say this person thief like this, they go say, person they way don't thief past that one, no be today the thing start. And once a country reach that level, it will take a revolution of not just the reasonable, but the reasonable and courageous. Because you must be reasonable and courageous for us to revolt for the right cause, to reset leadership and systems in this country. If not, we go end up with the Nigerian situation, which is what? Survival of the fittest. Justice will be left for the highest bidder. If you don't get connection, you are on your own. It is an animal farm. So when I know say for some days now, Sowore and Wike, Sowore, they release some allegations, all of that they put out there against the current minister for FCT. Do you know that most of the information where they put out, they are not new. They have been there before. They are known to the public and including everybody where they for government. But the so-called anti-corruption agencies, EFCC, ICPC, Independent Corrupt People, and other offenses, related offenses, they never see them to investigate. Oh, what are some of the allegations? And Nigerians, instead of to focus on the matter as it affects our life, some people go even the way they go, they abuse the Sowore. Nigerians do not know that even when you think, say, maybe you know like two people where they quarrel, you should think of how what is going on affects your life and insert it yourself in that equation. What are some of the allegations where they raised against the current minister for FCT? Number one, remember during the Channels TV interview where Seun Okinbaloye asked him, say, you are driving a Rolls Royce, your convoy, they get power bike for front and all of that. How did you get money to buy a Rolls Royce? The Honorable Minister said that he is not from a poor family. That even when he did for university, he was driving a Benz because his father was a manager of a company. Your father was a manager. Continue. Allegations of giving land as minister to your children in the name of your children, parcels of land, be hectares of land. The children are not Ghanaians or Japanese, they are Nigerians. If they go get land, they will get land in Nigeria. All right. Allegation of properties owned in the United States, in the state of Florida, multiple properties. Honorable Minister response, I don't know anything about the property. My wife is a U.S. citizen. My children are U.S. citizens. They have their own property there. Anybody should show. Minister for FCT. Your wife is a U.S. citizen, and nobody talks to make person no own property. But do not forget that that same wife is also a sitting judge on the appellate court of Nigeria. They don't move up. She was in the high court. She don't go appeal court now. And being a U.S. citizen and a justice in the Nigerian judicial system, are there code of conduct documents where show say that there was a declaration of assets to know exactly how many assets you owned in a foreign country where you are a citizen, and that you also show how you pay tax in that country because you go to pay tax as U.S. citizen, and also now that you are a chief or a justice in the appellate court of another country. So you see nothing wrong with it, even you being also a cabinet minister and your spouse in the Nigerian judiciary. Do you know that most of all the allegations where they raise, so, and what is the other allegation on the issue of INEC, voice note, voice recording where come out where they talk say that allegedly when you were governor, you were threatening INEC officials, and nobody think it is necessary to investigate to know that was somebody actually trying to undermine the electoral process and threatening anybody. It is not worthy to investigate. Do you know that most of the allegations or where they raise, so they come under executive administrative corruption, and guess what? 50 to 60% of Nigeria's corruption is administrative. Inflation of government contract, budget padding, outright stealing and criminality from government. But till date, it is not worth investigation. Why? Because no be Yahoo boy or no be poor person. Now EFCC eagle never see him. Recently, the British Deputy Prime Minister Angela Rayner, she resigned from office. You know why? Not be because he thief money. No. Not be because he carry money buy Rolls Royce. He buy property before he even become Deputy Prime Minister. He pay tax, but he no pay sufficient tax. The advisor to the Prime Minister on ethics say, our investigation found that she acted with integrity but broke the code of ethics. Meaning there is a code of ethics. For Nigeria, which code of ethics will they do? Code of ethics Oriburuku Lanshe. Oriburuku Lanshe, EFCC and Nigerian government. We build a system that rewards criminality. Nigerians do not get used to this kind of corruption and criminality in the country. Because this system will make everybody a victim at the end of it. And that is why, because the people they know say once you do it, you get people who go support you. Their owner to pay people who go come online. They abuse those who are calling for accountability because they know there are no consequences for anything. This is not how a country should be governed. Look at Brazil. They protest for law where they don't bring, say, may they give immunity to their lawmakers. Nigerians, we will do the right thing after doing every other thing. A system or a nation where there is no accountability is a lawless society. And if you do not come together and fix it, you may just become the next victim of the misgovernance or the high-handedness or wickedness in that country. Congratulations, Minister for FCT. The God will do your own to come from a wealthy family. He will do it for other Nigerians. God bless you, EFCC as on eagle. Oriburuku night when they do.
What I mean to say is that the good thing about it is that all of this is not happening in Nigeria because unfortunately for the judiciary in Nigeria, even where there are still good officers in service, the very bad ones have painted so many the institution, black, to the extent that Nigerians actually don't believe in the judiciary anymore, which is a dangerous trend anyway. But the hope is that the court in Florida will be an unbiased that will look at the fair details of everything contained to establish how in 2013 some children who literally can even wear their own clothes afford $500,000, which in current value is about $2 million, could own a house in Florida. And the explanation that he has tried to give on one of these national platforms was that his in-law who did not buy properties for his own children in Florida is buying property for his in-law. Those unimaginable kind of explanations, but he has to prove it in court, and the source of the has to be established. And if he paid for those properties in cash, it has to be that he declared the source openly. Otherwise, that is money laundering. And if he has manipulated the system, corrupted Americans, engaged in any form of criminality, for me that will be a cause for them to actually to establish a criminal case that may call for his extradition. But I don't know. I'm not a lawyer, but my little knowledge of the law from the layman's perspective is that if it is established, like in the case of Hush Puppy, whose criminality, which was occurring in Nigeria, had effect in America, he has to be extradited. Like the case of the police officer Abakari, who is still serving in prison or awaiting trial, who also has been fingered in that case, who is also up for extradition to the US because the crimes they committed had effect in the US. So if beyond just looting money in Nigeria, taking it to the US, if it was not properly declared and those properties were purchased with raw cash, and those cash, the source cannot be established, it is absolutely money laundering. And for such reason,
Mr. Great Timmer,
you can be invited to a US court for explanation.
Yes, obviously, that's it. But there's a problem here. People in government are accused of certain things and nobody from the official stance questions it. For example, let's start with what Natasha Akpoti accused the Senate president of, Godswill Akpabio. That happened, and instead we got endorsement from the other senators, that is his colleagues. We got endorsement from the president saying that he trusts Akpabio. The same thing now is happening with Nyesom Wike. We know he's a very close ally of the president. But do you think there is something wrong? This is a very heavy allegation and nobody is saying anything. None of the political elites. The EFCC is not seeing this. The excuse will be that they need to be petitioned. Or could it be that the SCT minister has immunity and so nobody can do anything for now? Nobody can ask him questions. He cannot be invited for questioning. We need to understand what the process is, because it's how everywhere is just quiet. This kind of allegation came up. Agreed, is from Sowore, whom everybody considers to be quite a disturbance. They call him a disturbance in some quarters, or a troublesome person. But he brought out evidence to whatever it is that he is saying, and nobody has dared to look into it. No official person has dared to voice out, aside from critics that have been talking about it, analysts that have been talking about it. So what are we endorsing as a nation that will soon be celebrating its independence?
Well, the unfortunate thing is that this is what Nigeria has become. And the other problem is that the political elite you're looking at is actually not the problem. The industry you and I belong to has also become part of the problem. I would have expected by now that it will be a headline news, major headline news in all Nigerian major newspapers. Questions should be asked and raised at every point in time, because it's like a whistleblower. Then until it goes to court, of which Sowore said he has gone to court already in the US. So obviously, there's nothing any political actor can do about it. And most of the big players will definitely not want to be forced on fighting, going for maybe types of article when they are going for the presidency or they are going for an election or B. They would rather focus their energy on tackling, the opponents, which supposedly is President Tinubu. But good enough. Shockwave has brought out this issue. What is the media in Nigeria doing? Sometimes I look at some established media in Nigeria. Pardon me, it's our industry. It's an industry where I've been for more than 25 years, literally. At least I've been I can say that more than 25 years or thereabout in this industry. Somebody who has been in this industry, I started my career in Daily Times with my former boss, the former art editor, Dakwadeni, who was the then art editor of Daily Times, when it was still owned by Nigerian government. Before it was privatized, I moved to position International Arts Review. You can imagine that the traditional media that I used to know, that media that held the military to ransom, a lot have gone wrong. Politicians who are supposed to be the ones the media is scrutinizing are not the ones that own the media. It is challenging. Then some of those who are able to come from the industry to establish their own platforms, some of them have fallen by the wayside. That is why for whatever it was worth, we must give it to Omoyele Sowore. His media establishment has stood firm to a great extent. And he has not been afraid. He has to stay on the line of fire. And in this case right now, I expect the other media agents who are members of members of the fourth estate to come up with their own questions, interrogation, to investigate, to make this matter make it make sense to all Nigerians. But yet, without them anyway, the new media, which is the social media, has taken up the challenge. And I want to warn the traditional media. It may literally happen in Nigeria very soon, where people will begin to ignore traditional media because they are paid for and bought. Like you can see
but Mr. Great Emo, we are talking Mr. Great Emo, we are talking about it. Yes, there is no doubt about what you're saying. Most of the traditional media outlets, let's even look at print, a couple of them can no longer pay their salaries. They can no longer financially enable production of their papers. So obviously you know that it is normal for these politicians to come and do what they know how to do. So once they've cleared their debts, settled them, pay them off, what do you think it's going to be like? Here on Voice of the People 90.3 FM, we look beyond the traditional news medium outlets when we talk about issues. And that's why we're discussing it. We've been discussing this matter right here for the past 3 days. So it's not all the media. And you already understand the circumstance with which the media is operating now. Most media organizations do not provide protection for such sensitive issues. So when you stick your neck out, who protects you? There is no institution to protect you. The organization you're working for would not protect you. You can only do the best that you can do. So under these strenuous or constrained circumstances, we try as much as possible to bring these ills to light, talk about it, and expect that the needful is done. So my question to you about this is, do you think the president will investigate this matter? Do you think he will call Wike and ask him, Mr. Man, what is this we're hearing? I don't need this within my administration. I cannot continue with such whatever on my administration and persons working under my administration. But that aspect has been quiet. So is that something that is not true that is being spilled out by Omoyele Sowore? Or is it possible that the idea is if we sideline it or we don't give him any attention, then the whole thing will dissipate? Another issue will be the focus of the day tomorrow.
Well, it would be unfortunate that that will be the thinking of Mr. President, thinking that this will go away, because this have it has an international dimension to it.
Okay.
And already, this is already a battle for the reputation. There's a battle for the reputation of Nigeria's image all over the world. And for whatever it is worth, this will be the litmus test for presidents' image makers, because whatever else that have been happening here, all other corruption, using 39 billion to renovate an event center, you did not change the roof, you did not change the ties, 39 billion gone, while primary schools were on strike and medical health centers were on lockdown, then that could be contained because the Nigerian issue. But this one now has international dimension. And the president who has been gallivanting all over the world say he's looking for investors who are not forthcoming, who has been borrowing from China to Japan, London to America, France to Brazil, to continue to maintain the what fund our foreign import. He requires a reputation management, because already he to have his own challenge anyway. It has been rumored there have been some people trying to request the United States government to unveil his own record. So that should be enough. And those managing Mr. President should know that they should know when to let go. The only thinking I see, because every day I see Wike demarketing the president of Nigeria, and I'm surprised they don't pay attention to that. Because if the reason for what allowing Wike to be garrulous, to be dirty, be anachronistic, and be that criminally braggadocious is because of 2027 election. In the realm of politics, that is a minus for Mr. President, because I will tell you, Wike makes many people hate the APC government in power now. The only thing from which I think the only brain cell from which they are operating is that they think they will reach 2027 election. This is a problem with those in government. They think they will reach 2027. I've read comments of some characters who are supporters of those in government who could say, this person will not be president, this one will not be, and so many Nigerians who have been in poverty. Nigeria's livelihood were wiped out. Nigeria's purchasing power value was reduced by 53%. Even our gross domestic product GDP was reduced from 380 billion to 280 something billion dollars. Half of Nigeria's wealth reduced. You did all of these things, you remove subsidy, yet you abolish money. Yes, you say you are sharing more money to the governors, and when Nigerians tell Mr. President that they are hungry, he tells Nigerians to go and hold their governors accountable. Yet there's no Nigerian holding gun. No Nigerian is EFCC. No Nigerian is ICPC. No Nigerian is police. All the agencies and institutions that are supposed to hold the governors and local government chairmen responsible are under Mr. President. He pretends not to know, and then the wickets of this world in his government continue to insult the sensibilities of Nigeria, and then they keep him because they think that by 2027 he will, by backing around like a dog, he will be able to challenge Nigerians and squeeze the vote of them. Unfortunately, that is the only reason for which a government can keep somebody like Wike, who has insulted Nigerians randomly, and exposed even the corruption in this government more than any agent of government its administration. So, if Mr. President feels because Wike brags and shouts on TV, because he has police and army backing with God, a Wike walking alone on the street of Abuja cannot challenge a hungry young man on the street. They will beat him to stupor in 5 minutes. So, having police and army surround you and calling television or media houses to surround you, and you are backing, linking on a chair, makes him think that he's important and powerful. I challenge him to walk on the street of Port Harcourt alone. I challenge you to walk on the street of Abuja alone. We challenge Wike to go and bring down vote without the mutilation that we saw from the River State election. If this is what they are depending on, I hope they know that Nepal is not very far from here. Instead of you to work out, to deliver on the mandate, to market your project and your policies, explain the areas you have failed to Nigerians, and encourage them to play with you towards the future so that you hope that they can bring you to power. Perspective of the fact that they have the capacity to swallow so much. But someday something may give, and that is why they should be careful. We used to have times in Nigeria when people were fed up. Today, military officers in different parts of Nigeria stay in barracks trying to protect themselves. When those states in Nigeria, they were undermining the state, looting the money, no education, no investment in the people. They did it for many years until young people in this state who have no hope were lured into insurgency with as little as 1,000 naira. Today they cannot move around freely. Those who have been rigging Nigeria's election are also having the same thinking that nothing will happen.
Right.
However, if something happens,
okay,
like it happened in Ivory Coast,
where
an election led to 11 years for war. So,
Mr. Great Imo,
Mr. President should be watchful, and he's too big to allow Wike to become a stumbling block or a mess on the plant called the presidency of Nigeria.
Mr. Great Imo, you said something vital, when you were explaining a couple of things. You asked questions as to what exactly is the opposition doing. Sowore has been consistent in calling out the ills amongst these government agents. From the presidency, he's still on with the presidency where he's battling the DSS, battling a couple of groups in support of the administration. And in fact, they're asking that the DSS should make sure they do the needful in clamping down on him. Some of the Rivers State APC supporters, they're saying that the presidency needs to do something. That how dare Sowore call the president a criminal? Sowore is not yet done with that. He's now on with Wike. But they're asking questions that the supposed popular opposition that we talk about most times, what are they doing? They only just react to certain issues, but going this far. And why do you think that Nigerians are not rallying behind Sowore? If this guy has been astute, consistent, brazen, bold, ready to put his life on the risk, we've seen him go to jail on several occasions. He was just even released very recently, actually. So, especially with the IGP case, he has been calling them out with evidence, actually, not just talking. He's been with evidence. So, what is the problem with the opposition? Are they just there for power? Don't they know that there is a procedure, there are steps? When President Bola Ahmed Tinubu was in opposition, every day he called out the government of the day. They did their own investigation. They brought out evidence. So why is it that the opposition that we know right now, they seem cowed, possibly by digital intimidation or whatever? What do you think is happening?
Well, I don't think the caliber of opposition we have now can be intimidated. Not
you
the
think
B2B
so?
that I read every day. B2B is consistent. Even Raji Atiku Abubakar, El-Rufai, these people have been speaking on different matters. For example, the Sowore is having this banter now. The Sowore calls Mr. President a criminal. They ask him to withdraw it. He says no. It's possible that the other opposition leaders don't even have facts why Sowore will say he's a criminal. And if you jump on this case and say, oh yes, why should you challenge Sowore to withdraw the case? The person he called a criminal is a criminal. If you don't have the facts that Sowore has, and you jump in at it, you might get your fingers burnt.
Okay.
But it's a fact that Sowore said it, and Sowore is able to face it. And then Wike comes along, and he is digging it out with Wike. They have had other cases like that. We have had other squabbles with these opposition leaders. But I know that to an extent, even to the extent that Mr. P2B has said that the intimidation, so many opposition leaders at different level are intimidated actually. Maybe not even at the national level. How about the state, local government? There are many people who could have been speaking that would have made the voices louder. We just talked about the media. There are so many people in the media who are not hearing their voices because some of them too, their livelihoods are threatened. And most of them have not found other strategic means. And from my own investigation, a certain federal government appointee was to be sacked. It was in the news, and after some days, everything one off. And it appeared because he was giving contract to somebody he knew was competent, but was seen to be opposition. So the government of the day has gone to the extent that today you no longer hear about bidding and tender. You don't. Government of the day Tinubu no longer talks about tender and bidding. Here in Abuja, you used to see people do tender bidding for small jobs. Now local contractors are being owed. The other they boasted that they paid local contractors 3% trillion. Go and find out who are the local contractors. There are so many people that have been owed even before the coming of this administration. Some of them have been bankrupted. So many clerks bankrupted. But the ones appointed by this government without tender and bidding are the ones they are paying all these trillions to. So this is also a form of intimidation, whereby certain people who are dependent on these contractual agreements with government are no longer seeing it. And they are believing that if they go openly and oppose the government, they will not get. But this is how low the government has gone, that you need to press the neck of the citizens to extract, the obedience to them instead of act of good governance, good conduct, transparency, and empathy for the citizens. So it is akin to a military government, even worse, Yoruba said. Because when you are under a military regime, there is more of conformity. There is, even for military officers and police officers, everybody knows their boundary. Like somebody said on air the other day, today there's no more literal rule of law. Every day tells you to go to court, because here now it looks like these are the whims and caprices of those in power, and it's not going to last. It can't last. This day we just saw Fubara return to government house in Rivers. The governor of a people removed, and even the sole administrator appointed now is telling the State House of Assembly that he will not account for almost 300 billion naira belonging to Rivers people. Oh no!
He said so that because he did exactly what the president asked him to do, and so they have no right to probe him. So if he's saying that, is he saying that whatever money that was used in the 6 months, it was he and the president that shared it for him to say that he did the bidding of the president, so they are not supposed to probe him? What does that statement mean? Is that not indicting on the president?
Definitely, because the money does not belong to the president. The money is the allocation of Rivers, belongs to Rivers people. Rivers people have the right to know where their money is, and the more demand for it. So for one person to come and say, oh, because I'm appointed by Mr. President, the money he managed in Rivers is not it's not federation money. It's not federal government. It is the allocation to River State. It is the IGL from River State. Taxes paid by Rivers people. The extraction of oil and gas from Rivers people. So these characters have become so emboldened that if this kind of thing like this will come here and police backing them. This was the repeat of the kind of things that happened in 1983. The Omar deacons of this world, the Achilleans of this world, they were so arrogant, so brazen in their corruption, in their Nigerians. And tell it to the father, when the military struck, literally the citizens never asked the question. How can you be in a democracy and people, citizens' voices are being stifled? Certain people now, once you say something on social media, they will locate you. But people who collect ransom, make calls for people to pay ransom, they will not locate them. It will not be, this will not augur well for Nigeria. We need a country where Nigerians can ask questions and look at what we are saying. Irrespective of what we think that Wike can do for Mr. President, I don't think that on the reputation of Wike, Nigerians or Rivers can vote for Tinubu. President Tinubu. I doubt it. If they think I'm right, he should go and do his investigation. Nobody Rivers, not even 10%, not 5% of Rivers who can vote for Tinubu because of Wike. It can never happen.
Are you sure, Mr.
So if you think that you want to put on the ground martial results, write it, mutilate it as you did in 2023, that's what Mr. President is waiting for. He might be disappointed. So if he's trading his reputation on the up and greed,
Mr. Great,
that passes that this nonsense is going on. Right here in Abuja, the man is busy everywhere, grabbing land, displacing people, selling green areas, reserve areas for city aesthetics and environmental sanity. Wike is balkanizing them. How can we have such characters without sense of excellence? People who are low self-esteem, who are so hollow that they require the abundance of material things in essence to feel important in this modern society is an aberration.
All right. Mr. Great Imo, very recently there have been discordant tunes about our political hemisphere right now. The march towards 2027 has reached a point of no return. Quiet realignments have burst into bold declarations of loyalty, and long-standing alliances are now being tested in dramatic fashion. The latest is concerning the former late President Muhammadu Buhari. Some persons that were loyalists to him have shifted allegiance to former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, even as the president staged a high-profile visit to visit Buhari's family in Kaduna. So the stakes right now could no longer be higher. It's no longer about personalities alone. It is about who truly inherits Buhari's political bloc. And in that fashion, remember that INEC has not yet released a timetable as to how 2027 is going to be like. Most of that talk will resume next year. But most of the political bigwigs, supporters of these political persons, have actually started campaigning. Even the supposed aspirants are campaigning. I'm talking about the former Vice President Atiku Abubakar. Now, Atiku Abubakar has assured the Yoruba people that they will hold prominent positions in his government if elected president in 2027, dismissing fears of Hausa Fulani domination. You know, he's married to a Yoruba woman, and he also gave... I can hear you, sir. Can you hear me? Can you hear me, Mr. Great? All right, I think we're having a network. Mr. Great. All right, I'm asking you a question about the president. The former Vice President Atiku Abubakar. Recently, I was talking about the realignment in our political space and how a lot of persons in the political scenario are really trying to grapple whatever they can grapple to have an edge over this administration in 2027. Atiku Abubakar is one of such persons, and he's assuring the Yoruba people that they will hold prominent positions in his government if elected president in 2027, thereby dismissing fears that there will be a Hausa Fulani domination. You know that some persons in this administration are saying, you guys continue, you're acting as if the president will reign forever, there's impunity, you guys are being nepotistic and all whatnot. If another person of another extraction comes in, the person will also invade the Aso Rock with their own persons, and you guys be relegated. So Atiku is trying to assure the Southwesterners that I need your support. I would not dominate the cabinet with Hausa Fulani. You'll be prominent in my cabinet. Do you think that the Southwest will leave their own person, because that's the way politics works in this part of the world, to vote for Atiku? How convincing do you think his declaration is to certain persons in the Southwest?
Well, let me start by your introduction to this question. You talk about who will inherit Buhari. Buhari couldn't even inherit himself. Buhari is one of the biggest disappointments of this millennium century in Nigeria. Nigerians had so much high hopes that when in 2014 the merger was coming, at least for whatever it was worth, he had not been known to be an economist who could have magically transformed the economy, but at least 2 to 3 major areas Nigerians felt that if he could hold forth on those areas, things will gradually will normalize. Area of security, because he was a retired general corruption, restoring the rule of law. When they are messed up,
Hello, sir.
he could not inherit himself literally. Yes, forget there are still people who are hero worshippers and some people who are actually not, who doesn't have their own mind, who still picture him as the leader, the hero. Yeah, those people are there. But it's not to undermine who he is to people, but his disappointment made it so easy for APC to struggle. What is the outcome of the result 2023? An incumbent president, a sitting government, they could not literally run on their own. And that is the problem that President Tinubu is repeating. Look, irrespective of what opinion you got about him, he's a sitting president. He has come whichever way. He's the one in power right now. How can you be in power and you require the reputation of people not in power to win votes? By the way, they voted, some of those who supported him, not east, west, and south. They did that because some of them believed in him. But they had reputational issue. But he has been there for 2 years. I will give you an example. I'm not trying to market anybody here, please. I am from Abia State.
Okay.
For 24 good years, we had back and forth about governance. But Alex Otti is also as well 2 years in government in Abia State. Compared to certain governors in the east, like Hope, who is almost 5 years from Imo State. Even though Hope is 5 years, the perception people in the east have spent. Why is people perceiving Alex differently and perceiving Hope differently and perceiving Mr. differently? So instead of focusing on the job, APC became heavy on propaganda, intimidation, arrogance, blatant, brash arrogance that was, innovating. And then you talk about Atiku Abubakar saying that he's going to carry the Southwest along. Do they need such promises in the 21st century Nigeria if there is good governance? Why do you have to tribalize governance? President Buhari did it. Now President Tinubu have also taken it to highest height. Today, as we talk to you, all the major agencies of government and levers of power in Nigeria are controlled by the Yorubas. It's openly. In fact, the worst is that even within the Yoruba land, Mr. President is even tribalistic within the Yoruba. If you are not the Tinubu set of people or Lagos Tinubu, you cannot get appointment. Someone from Ekiti that is living in Lagos has to take appointment from Lagos to Ekiti on behalf of the people. Then we've written about it, we have cautioned about this. Yoruba APC undermining the rest Yoruba. If you are not supporting Tinubu, they'll be shouting on you. Yoruba don't know. Every other person that is not bowing to the God that they have chosen is the enemy. They attack them both on social media, and we saw it also happen during the election. And now in power, even the allocation and the distribution, apart from state allocation, how is the sharing formula in terms of allocation of projects? If you are giving Southwest 5.3 trillion and South is 400 billion, you have to be worried that people there, if they understand what that resource allocation means, that the disparity is too much. It's not to say that it is a Nigerian culture, but it is one of the fundamental errors of the Nigerian state today. So if Atiku is coming to promise the Southwest or the Yoruba people that don't worry if you vote for me, I don't think that should be the issue. The issue is that we need a country we need to build a nation. Number one thing, to build a nation, you have to be one nation. The unity of Nigeria has been fundamentally undermined. Every day we see it. Even the appointees of the government of Nigeria, imagine a woman managing the foreign affairs of Nigeria, managing the Nigerian people in different countries, using tribalism to bet Nigerians. A man commits a crime, you said it is people from their place that commit crime. And you separate it from Nigeria, and yet you're the representative of Nigeria managing Nigerians in diaspora. I mean, there's no hiding it. and the president is quiet, and you are thinking, okay, all you need to do is to go and beg the North. If you beg the North, they give you power. You don't care about the East. And you are building a country. Who builds a nation like that? When you read the book, Why Nations Fail, this is one of the fundamental errors, where the citizenship is not the ultimate purpose of governance. Where the citizen is not the subject of nationhood. This is why Nigeria is failing. And if you ask these people, they keep telling you, it's been this, it's been that, they know something. The elementary, the governance structure for and understanding of nation building is lacking. It's only greed.
Okay. Mr. Great.
Cyber, the hegemony.
Mr. Great Imo, thank you very much.
Welcome to Shamra Seniors TV.